be, I think maybe perhaps a tad bit hard today's episode because me and you get to do something really fun tomorrow.
I know.
Well, by the time you guys hear that, we'll be done. But we get to go to our spooky place tomorrow and do our spooky stuff, and I'm very excited about it.
It's taking up every bit of my mental space that it possibly could. I keep having to remind myself that like this time tomorrow, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be on the ground, looking around, and I'm so fucking ready, dude. I'm so
I want to go to that pie shop. I know that has nothing to do with nothing. I really want to go to that sandwich and pie shop,
dude. Bet that needs that's where we'll go to make our plans. That's gonna be our we're gonna resource our plan it all out.
Grounding our energy gathering meal.
Yes.
I'm gonna have coffee and a piece of pie because I do love that.
I am absolutely abuzz. I cannot wait for this. I already packed up our little meager collection of ghost hunting equipment. It's already ready to go.
I was thinking, this might be stupid, but I was like, man, on the way out there tomorrow, or even tonight, I was like, I could go to like Dollar Tree and see if there's any like stupid, like a 12-pack of bells that we could put on a string or something. Like I'm thinking, what else could we use?
I've got some really good, you saying that reminds me, I've got the perfect thing. I've got a two dangler of bells that we could hang on something.
Yeah.
I also found a good flashlight.
Good.
That you can twist off and do the little, tap game with. So that's a little extra addition.
All we need's a theremin. Or whatever it's called.
What, ren pot? I want one. Even though they scare me a little bit with the sound. It's very jarring all of a sudden. Just, they're really squealing at you.
Very 90s Halloween decoration noise.
Yeah.
Everybody had those. You remember that head? I don't know if you ever saw it. Mom and Dad had it for years and years, and I still got it somewhere. It's been passed down.
Oh, I love him. I already know.
You know him? Yeah.
And he kind of shakes a little. Yeah.
And he's had the same batteries in since 1996. Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah. It's a legend.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay, wow. Listen, what are we talking about today? Actually, I know what you're talking about. We're getting into the second half of...
Yes.
What was the town called?
Pittenweem.
And I should know that because I specifically looked it up because I'm going to talk about the national flower of Scotland. So I wanted to tie it in somehow, and I was like, does Pittenweem have a flower? And all I could really get was, well, Scotland has a flower. So I'm talking about milk thistle, which is close to bull thistle, which we did do, but
love a thistle.
Yeah.
You know who else loves a thistle? Colin Malloy. I can't tell you how many times thistles are mentioned, and thistles. I notice it. And if you pay attention, notice it. He'd be writing about thistles a lot.
I think it's a pleasing word.
I do like it. Thistle.
The thistles, and I think you can fit it into a lot of stuff, and maybe it's the only flower he knows. Who knows?
He knows a lot of flowers and fabrics.
He does know a lot of flowers.
And all kinds of things, really.
He's like a Victorian gent,
I really, appreciate. You get a lot of texture.
Yeah.
Gingham.
Do you know you remember when all those years ago, we went to the show that you got yelled at for running?
I did get yelled at for running.
But you better believe we were in the front row. Did you know that when your brother came with us, he had never, I guess, seen them? Because afterwards, for like a long while, I remember he was like very, I guess, impressed. He was taken aback. He was like, yeah, I'd never seen them before. I didn't know they were just like a bunch of old dudes. He's like, I didn't know it was just like some like regular looking old people.
It's generally how bands work, buddy.
And I was like, I don't know what kind of punk attire you were expecting.
Who you expected the Decemberists to be, but I feel like they look pretty on brand to me.
But it was a funny movie. Well, excuse me. I'm having.
Oh, well, we got to say before we get started.
Yes.
Look at the album artwork. Do you see it?
Do you
Look
like
at
it?
There's
Yeah.
a print right now. These are limited. It's happening in this moment. Right now, we are inside this moment in time.
Oh, I was going to start singing This Magic Moment, but yours was better. Head on over to wbahprintshop.com. You can type it in. You can find the link down in the description. You'll get there. You can get you one of these prints, because once they're gone, they are gone. If you are a collector, you definitely want to snap that up. And also, if you're just a lover of the fall, dare I say, cozy aesthetic, dare I say, little mushroom. Guys. Little fall leaves, little fuzzy characters that may or may not be Sasquatch, or Lady Sasquatch. What do you?
Whatever you.
I guess they're still Sasquatch.
Yeah.
It's weird. You typically think of like a dude Sasquatch, but I guess Sasquatch could just be any fuzzy guy.
Any fuzzy guy. Yeah.
Any fuzzy guy can be Sasquatch. Anyway, check it out. Yeah.
It's out
and
until the first weekend in November, and then it's not out.
Yeah.
And it's gone forever.
And it's gone. We put it in the Disney vault and we lock that thing
but
shut.
We mean it, unlike those assholes who never make shit.
Yeah. We go one layer deeper than the Disney vault.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way down in there. Way down in there deep. In a bunker.
Yeah. We literally take the PDF that Lyra makes and we put it on a thumbstick. And then we put it in a safe and bury it underground. We never access it again.
It's like Lucy, but not.
I was trying to think of a way to tie it into Lucy.
You got a title. We've got a sip cap Lucy, dude. We've been referencing it so much.
I have always had beef with that movie.
You should. It's a good one to have beef with.
Listen, I know there are people out there, though, who legitimately like the movie Lucy. And that's fine. We're all different. But listen, there's not many things that I'm going to judge you about. There's like not many things. But the like and Lucy. Also, before we officially get started, we have something we've not done sort of in a while. We have a Patreon shout out that I'm springing on you right now. So, this week's episode is brought to you by our Patreon, Cecilia W. I'm just gonna let the dead air hang.
I swear, dude, I feel like every other week I've almost prepared. Not enough to remember in the moment to remind us to do it, but to where I would know if you brought it up and be like, ooh, I'm going to draw up the one that I thought about earlier. And I finally let my goddamn guard down today. And you sniff it out, you ferret it out, and you exploit it. And you turn it into this.
I smell the fear on you.
Okay, what was the name?
Cecilia W. You could do Ophelia. Like, what's that? Is that Rick Danko song? Ophelia, won't you darken my door? How does it go? I don't know.
I'm trying to think here, because listen, I've got ghosts and Halloween and and scary things on the brain. That's where I am right now. It's where I'm living. Yeah. And so I'm trying to think
Monster Mash
of a good Monster Mash. Listen, I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. Monster Mash bums me out.
Really?
It really bums me out.
I won't listen to the whole song, but if I do catch a whiff of Monster Mash, I like it. It could be specifically because there was a animatronic that I've had for forever for Halloween. Like, we've had there's 3 animatronics that have been in my family for a long time. And one of them
quality.
Yeah. One of them was a graveyard scene with 3 spooky guys on it, a ghost, like a witch, and a Frankenstein monster. And you'd touch a button and it would play Monster Mash, and they would all kind of lazily list side to side, And that's perhaps where I get it from. Also, it's real fun when an animatronic breaks in some capacity. It's endlessly funny to me when the music still plays, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to do anymore. Because now they're all just
have such a thin margin for error.
They're just still. They don't dance anymore. He just plays the Monster Mash, and they're just like, I've been doing this.
The only good alternative to that is when they continue the motions but just make no sound anymore. And they're just not doing around.
Yeah. Like the Billy Bass.
Yes, it gets me. Oh, it gets me so good. I can't even handle it.
Cecilia W.
I think I know what to do. This is where I struggle. Cecilia. Even in my head, I'm stumbling over it, and that's not a good sign. Like, even in my head, I'm like, Cecilia. Okay. Cecilia W send shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul. Seal your doom tonight.
Cecilia W. No, I see what you're. I see what it was. Okay, I'm with it.
It shouldn't have been that difficult.
You guys, if you watch these episodes,
I have a headache now.
Oof! Wow. All right. Well,
go first, which is good because I get to rest my brain folds after putting them through that workout.
Well, if I can stop. You know what I keep thinking about how at some point tomorrow we're going to have a laughing fit like we always do. And also how when we do reach the end of our sanity point, we need to just kind of come back down. We get to start watching Love is Blind. So,
dude, I have resisted so many inputs of like info on Love is Blind that I'm like, I'm not looking at you.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my face because
I know
it's not
nothing.
Time yet.
Yeah. I know nothing at this point. But we got okay. I got to talk to you.
I know.
About Milk Thistle.
Okay.
Latin name, Silybum marnium.
Shut up. No, it's not.
It's SILYBUM. And I think it's not marnium, but that's just what I rhymed it with. Marinum? Silybum marinium. Anyway, it's milk thistle. You probably know what a thistle looks like. They all look pretty goddamn similar. And I wanted to get the differences between the milk thistle, and the bull thistle, which we have already covered back in the day. So, did you hear that swallow? Because I heard it really loud in my head.
I saw it on your face.
Did you see like my neck muscles?
I saw you react to it in surprise.
Okay, great. Milk thistle is valued for its medicinal properties, especially for liver health, while bull thistle is considered a weed with no significant medical use.
Shit. I feel like if I remember correctly, nobody really wants to do it, but you can eat it if you have to. But don't quote me on that. But I feel like it was like celery. You peel the stalk and you could eat the big stalk like celery.
There is a little bit of eaten to the milk thistle as well, but like also it has some like like you want to only eat it at like a certain time, and you also want to cook it, or but we'll get there when we get there. Also, bull thistle, if you'll remember, is highly invasive and is kind of like a problem, whereas milk thistle, while it's still capable of spreading, and in some places it is like labeled as a invasive thing, it's not necessarily an ecological threat. So there that is. Also, the milk thistle, the way you can kind of tell the difference there is the bull thistle has a rough, hairy leaf, where the milk thistle has like these distinctive white veins on the leaves, which is really cool, and it leads to some of the the folklore around these things. But anyway, these motherfuckers can grow to about 2 to 6. I'm feeling silly today. I'm feeling silly.
I've got the pre-trip giddies, man. I get it.
I've got the giddies. Yeah. I've got my snail muslin or whatever on, and I'm ready to rock.
You feeling sticky? You feeling dewy?
I put it on full power too, because I was like, I just once, I want to feel what it is like without the water.
Without the water dilution. Yeah. It feels like what it is.
It's cummy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It feels like what it is. All right. So let's see. Where was it? Yeah, they can be 2 to 6 feet tall. And they're pretty easy to spot because, again, those leaves have that notable white veining to them. And the plant does have purple or pink flowers, like a lot of thistles do, they've got like their little crown of sharp, like thorn-like.
They look like an upside down broom.
Yeah, a little bit, like a purple round broom.
I love them. I think they're great.
I like a thistle. I like a thistle. Colin Malloy also loves a thistle.
Loves a thistle. The prettiest
whistles
will wrestle the thistles
undone. What does that mean, Colin?
I don't know. It tastes good though.
Oh, I thought you meant the thistle. Anyway, they like to grow. These thistles, the milk thistle, they do prefer like to be in a warm environment, a dry environment. They like a well-draining soil. But like the bull thistle, they can grow anywhere. They're drought resistant. They can grow in the sun, the shade, the hot, the cold, the whatever, right? So like, yeah, they're going to do a little bit better in their preferred environments, but they can go just about anywhere. Now, like I said, there are some regions in North America where they're a little invasive. Also in Australia, it is considered an invasive species because it can dominate the local plants. And so the name milk thistle, which is just fun to say, it gets its name from the milky white sap that is found on its stem. I used to love to and this makes me feel bad now, but I used to love to injure the plant so you could get that milky white substance. You know what I mean? But listen, another name for it is St. Mary's thistle because of the legend that the white markings on the plant and the milk itself is created by the Virgin Mary's breast milk.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember, and I forgot what it was it bloodstone? That they said like a drop of Jesus's blood fell on this and now it is the bloodstone. It's a similar thing here. We got some tit milk on it and that's where we get the name from. So yeah. Also outside of St. Mary's thistle, because of the breast milk, we have holy thistle, and that is a reference to it being tied to St. Mary's breast milk. Okay. We have the other names, blessed milk thistle, again tied to that breast milk.
Tied to the breast milk.
And then ladies thistle, which is apparently another variation honoring the Virgin Mary's breast milk. So a very breast milky,
very mammary.
Yeah. Milk. Does drinking milk, cow milk, ever freak you out? Do you ever kind of remember what you're drinking and go, I don't really think we're supposed to be doing this, but I'm not going to stop it?
Not really, because I've I will eat meat, and I'm like, if I can eat their body, I feel like drinking the fluid.
A heart last night. In noodles. I ate a beef heart and it was delicious and I absorbed that cow's powers. So
I mean, to me, what's the difference really?
Yeah.
So like I don't really think about it.
Yeah. I do remember, I think it was like an anti-milk ad that was on for a while and was like, did you know that it was like a little cartoon boy telling you this the whole time. And he was like, did you know that there's an acceptable amount of blood and pus allowed into your milk? Sorry if I'm grossing you out, but if you're grossed out by milk, you're already grossed out. And for a little while there, I really was like, I don't like this, but I also don't know if that's true. So I drink milk, long story short.
Straight down the middle.
Yeah.
I part of it is just there has always been milk around my entire life. So I just don't even bat an eyelash at it. There's milk. I don't even love milk that much. I like it with cereal. I will not drink a glass of it straight unless there's chocolate in it, in which I will. But like I don't like milk on its own. It gets a little cheesy for me. Which I love cheese, but that's a solid, you know.
What about like a
different formats
1%, you know?
I will not even look at it. I don't even want it to know
less cheesy.
That I'm in the same room as it.
Okay. All right. I get that. My dad very feverishly hated skim milk because my mom would buy skim milk growing up, and he always called it blue milk. And like, if you look at it,
I know exactly what he means. Yeah. It is. It's a pale blue. Mom thought skim milk was a scam, and I think she's right. And so we were a whole milk family.
Have a T-shirt of. I know we've said this before, but I want a T-shirt of everything that your mom says is a scam. It'll be like balloonies, skim milk, baby carrots. Uncrustables. She's right about that, though.
She's right about all of them, I think.
She's right about most of them. I don't agree with the skim milk, but that's just because I drank so much of it.
The theory, the reasoning was, it's mostly water.
And similar price for just watered down milk. It's just
water, with the stuff. She was so like, you know, it's just a little bit of stuff, and the rest of it's water.
You could buy a gallon of whole milk and add your own water, stretch that sumbitch out, you know?
I can't do the thin milk. It's the watery milk, which is why I can't drink like almond milk, because to me, I just taste water. Yeah. And I bounce back and forth because I want to do that, you know, but then I'm like, this just tastes like water, and I don't know what to do.
Have oat milk unless it's in something because it's so thick.
Oat milk? See, I love oat milk. I want oat milk's thickness, but with like coconut milk's taste. You know, like that's what I want, because coconut milk I like the best taste of, but it's always water unless you're talking coconut milk in the can. Oh, but the coconut milk in the can is something else entirely.
What about just condensed milk?
Oh,
what about just sweetened Eagle brand
Eagle milk? You just make your cereal with Eagle brand milk.
Ew. Oh.
Weird.
That physically hurt.
So off topic.
I'm getting back on it. I'm getting back on it with first of all, we're going to talk about a Greek physician.
Oh no.
Dioscorides mentioned it in his works as a treatment. We're talking about milk thistle, if you don't remember. Mentioned it in his work for treatment for snake bites. Which immediately I was like, oh, not Pliny. But then right after I saw some info that said Pliny the Elder documented the use of this for its liver usage, its liver health tonic association, helping it to, it stimulates bile production and digestive health. So those are always good things.
That's important.
In the 1960s, we have a German scientist that, a group of German scientists isolated a part of the plant, a compound called silymarin, Silymarin, and I'm sure it's like silymarin or something, but you can't give me that and not want me to call it silybum and silymarin. Anyway, they isolated that from the milk thistle seed, which apparently showed promise in protecting the liver and helping the liver to regenerate. And this led to further research, into the liver stuff. So it's that thing, where somebody from way back is like, I think this helps with the liver for, like, I don't know how they knew that shit back then.
I don't either.
But they were like, yeah, sure. And then later on, we get some like more in-depth science, and they're like, actually, I think they're right. And that leads us to today with some really interesting studies that we'll get into. Let's see, in Germany and England in particular, because we had like a good growth of milk thistle in like kind of middle age times, and also it was being eaten a lot. And also I feel like the English just kind of had plants and just said the plants helped with things whether they did or didn't. And they had weird food beliefs, like they wouldn't eat the tomatoes and shit like that.
Very suspicious, but also sometimes not suspicious
at all. And they already knew that it helped with liver stuff somehow. I don't know.
Seems if they were native plants too, they didn't maybe get the side eye as much as the weird other plants. Because like tomatoes were New World plants.
Yes. Yeah. Which I can't help it. The guy that called the meeting at the town square to eat the tomato in front of everybody.
How brave he is eating the wolf peach. Not
what
going
a
into
fucking
psychosis.
legend. But at this time in England, we were using this milk thistle. I say we just as the world. We're using this to help things like jaundice and gallbladder, and even as a prevention for what I saw called the melancholy and the melancholy madness.
Oh.
So, yeah, England, just real pioneers of the mental health genre.
I love seeing melancholy as a diagnosis. You see it a lot in like older stuff and older symptoms. It's like, and you'll see it with like, I feel like Nikki Pep will throw down with the melancholy.
The melancholy. Mm-hmm. I think it's a good way to, if you're having a bad day, and you just want to like express that. I think, just being like, I've got a case of the melancholy. I think that's a good way, to say it, to say it. So, sorry. Excuse me. Anyway,
are you going to make it?
It cleanses.
Oh my God, I'm so dumb.
And I had to try so hard to outdo you from last week. It cleanses the blood exceedingly, and in spring, if you please, boil the tender plant. And if you have a mind to, choke yourself. Can I redo that one?
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Cleanses the blood exceedingly, and in spring, I can't make it through. And in spring, if you please, boil the tender plant, but cut off the prickles, unless you have a mind to choke yourself. It will change your blood as the season changes. And that is the way to be safe.
From what?
I don't know. This is right from his shit, dude. This is like a direct quote. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. It just sort of ended there.
Oh my God.
It will change your blood. Anyway, so...
It will change your blood, rest assured. 'Cause it's quick. It's clean. It's pure.
Graves! God, this is borderline unlistenable.
Mess.
I'm sorry, guys. Listen, so today we take all that information that they like had hunches about and however they form these opinions, and that brings us into today. So milk thistle, still wildly popular as an herbal remedy across the globe because it can kind of grow everywhere. It's a good supply of it. It is commonly taken in supplement form. You can get this at the store. You can also make your own if you have a mind to. If you have a mind to choke yourself. Especially for liver detox, liver support. This is a big liver type plant. It also is apparently, now this is less studied, I guess, but apparently it's good for your skin health, your digestion, and just general detoxification. You can get this in pre-made capsules, like I said. You can also make your own tinctures, teas, powders. There's all kinds of recipes online. And when it comes to eating it, The young leaves and shoots of milk thistle can be eaten raw or cooked, and they are apparently often used in salads or in like vegetable medleys. Pretty common in the Mediterranean and in Mediterranean cuisine. However, it does seem that if you're not getting it at the like tender young stage, it can be kind of bitter, kind of grody. You don't really want to do that. Now listen here. Super interesting. There's a study published in the journal Psychotherapy Research that looked into this silymarin on patients with chronic liver disease, and it was found that it significantly improved the liver function and had a positive effect against liver damage. And let's see. Sorry, my notes are a little weird because this is a study. Oh, yeah. So it showed to have antioxidant properties, anti-inflammatory effects, and it promoted the regeneration of liver cells, which can be particularly beneficial after something like an injury to the liver, or what they are currently like looking into it for helping is alcohol-induced liver damage, effects on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, antioxidant and anti-cancer properties, and diabetes management. So, past this study, I couldn't really find much more like development into like the anti-cancer stuff, but it is being looked into, and that's always cool, which brings us to the meta phys. So, big time symbolism here tied into motherhood, nourishment, booby milk, and all the stuff that
we gotta talk about that.
We got that breast milk. Would you drink breast milk?
Yes,
absolutely.
I want to know
immediately. Yeah, I want to know.
Like,
can you tell me? I want some milk. Take me to the breast milk.
Anytime I hear "I want to know," I always go to Tarzan. Always.
Okay.
I want
Extrapolate.
to know. Can you show me?
Yeah.
I want to know about the strangers like me. Or you,
was that Phil
whatever.
Collins?
Oh yeah, whole soundtrack.
Didn't Phil Collins do more than he did? He's got a couple soundtracks under his belt, right?
I don't know,
for Disney,
but
or was
he
it
sure
just
as
Tarzan?
hell drug his balls all over that soundtrack.
Absolutely made his mark.
Straight fucking fire, man.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah. He did to that soundtrack what Elton John did to
completely.
Well, I was gonna say Lion King, but I guess also the
Road El Dorado.
Yeah, thank you. I can't.
So good.
I have no communication skills. Excuse me. This one's real. That one's not a Nikki Pep.
I'm giving. Yeah, I squinted at that time.
So all of the things that can be associated to, divine protection, because again, this is Mother Mary we're talking about, can be linked to nourishment and just like a loving, protective vibe. This is seen as a protective herb for a couple of reasons. We've got the whole like holy Mother Mary. What's her name? Virgin Mary? I'm sorry, I'm not a fucking Catholic. Dude, Catholicism is so cool.
What's her name?
What's her name? I've been watching a lot of Evil, and there's so much Catholic shit that I was overwhelmed, and I forgot. It's Mother Mary, or the Virgin Mary, whatever. She protects you and stuff with this herb. Also, the flower itself, it's got those little spiky bits on it. And anytime we see those spikes, we see protection. You can pluck a little off, put in like a protection jar, something like that. You can carry maybe a little small pouch of some of the seeds on you is a good way to add a little spice to your protection talismans and whatever. You can also place some dried milk thistle under your pillow to help enhance your dreams, particularly dreams related to healing and also personal empowerment. This is where it kind of started to veer off to the side because we start getting this personal empowerment thing out of nowhere. It is said that if you, before sleep, focus on what you want to learn and learn about yourself and grow within yourself, that's what you will dream about that night. And that the thistle will help awaken you to the areas of growth that you can look forward to or do something about. I don't know. Also, excuse me, just as milk thistle can survive in like all these environments, varying light sources and water and soil and everything else, this can also be a resilience flower, or whatever part of the plant you're using. It can help you face some challenges if you're going through kind of resistance in your life. It can help you to be a little bit more resilient, and bounce back from your setbacks. Yeah, and listen, I saw someone I thought was really cute said that they would create a growth jar. And, all the things that they wanted to manifest. Maybe you could call it like a manifestation jar. I don't know. But there were a bunch of things in it that help with manifestation. But milk thistle was one of them. And I was like, hey, that's cool. Because most people got that. And they could probably just go out and like find one and pluck it. And then also, hi.
I'm waiting.
You're giving me big Aquarius face right now. And
I don't mean to be. I'm just listening.
Okay. All right.
It's just my face.
You can use milk thistle during your creative rituals. During times of creativity, a space of creativity, like wherever you do, perhaps you're writing, you're painting, anything that you do, your creative endeavors. You can litter the space with milk thistle. And I just thought that was really pretty sounding. But also, it will help to invite creativity and the ease of communication that comes, when you're trying to express what's in your heart out onto the page or to the canvas or however you are creating this art. And I think that's neato. All right, that's it.
Okay. All right.
I'm done now.
Man.
Wow.
All right.
Made it through. Jesus Christ.
You did it. I know. I'm really worried about my segment.
I'm gonna do everything I can to shut my sauce box. By the way, Saucebox reminded me.
Good start.
Saucebox and Jim moved into the neighborhood in The Sims in the game that we're playing. And our main character wanted to get rid of a creeper in the neighborhood who just kept popping up in all the wrong situations. So she paid Jim to kidnap him and keep him in the dungeon, but she had to pay him by having Jim's baby. And I needed you to know that.
Who suggested this?
Oh, the chat did. We had a whole list of things that Jim might accept as payment to do something like this. Because, he wants to catch a creeper and keep the neighborhood safe. But he also wants to get paid for it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
We came up with 8 things. Money, dirty dishes, a baby of his DNA, an eye for an eye, meaning like you could put someone in the dungeon, but you also had to go to the dungeon yourself.
Oh, wow.
Frogs, dirty diapers, and then we rolled a dice.
I like that. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I like rolling the dice. That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good time. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to try to shut my sauce box.
Oh, wonderful. All right. So I'm going to pick us up, y'all. Part 2 this week. The Pittenweem Witch Trials. And you guys, we got to remember we had a source last week, a narrative of the trouble of Patrick Morton and the confession of some women therein in Pittenweem. So
some women.
We're going to be back with that this week, but not for all of it because we go beyond it.
We get real this week, right?
We get really real this week. People die this week. We see some of the worst of human nature this week. This week is rough. It sucks.
It's It's a witch.
It's a witch
it's
trial.
What we're used to. Yep.
Yes, it's a witch trial today. But still unusual parts about it. And so we are, though, if we can recall from last week, where we kind of left off was Beatrix Lang was being brought to Patrick Morton's place after he'd been in like an escalating fit over the course of like 2 months at
was
that
she
point.
Beatrix? Was she the one that was like, oh yeah, it's totally her, or was she the one that was cursing him?
Beatrix was the cursor, allegedly, and Nicholas was the one that was like, oh, yeah, it was her. And so Nicholas wound up getting caught up into the mix as well. So we are going to wrap up, though, first, the narrative document. Because there's also some pretty choice dialogue in there and just some scene setting that is just, I just want to have it. As well as getting Patrick Morton's reaction to Beatrix Lang, aka Betty, when she was brought to the place. And along with this, after that, we're going to talk about the fallout from all of this, because there's going to be fallout. There's going to be consequences. And so we're going to break all of that down. But before we get into any of that, let us first look at what happened when Beatrix was brought into the home of Patrick Morton. So here we go. Back into a narrative of the trouble of Patrick Morton and the confession of some women therein in Pittenweem. Here we go. She was no sooner entered the door of the room where the tormented youth lay, but he immediately awakened out of a deep swoon and cried, roaring and struggling in a great agony, that one of his tormentors, B.L., these being the initial letters of Beatrix Lang's name, was here, and there was another that tormented him, N.L., which are the initials of Nicholas, I believe it was Lawson. I can't see the name in front of me yet. And so here we go. Beatrix was not suffered to touch him, and yet his agony continued in a fearful manner till she was removed out of the room. And then he instantly settled.
Okay.
And so then Nicholas Lawson was called for. And we talked about this a little bit last week. The order of this kind of repeats in a couple of places.
I thought she was on his side. Nicholas.
Her involvement makes sense a little bit more today when we kind of start really unraveling as to what really caused all of this.
All right.
So Nicholas Lawson, when she was brought to the house, similar stuff happened with Patrick. Reactions, the fits, falling in and out, the screaming and all of that stuff. And when she was removed, immediately he calmed down, right? And so she was brought in a second time, and it still had the effect. And a point is made, though, by both women, and something that I feel like is important to note is that the first time when they both said this, Beatrix and Nicholas, when they came in and, he threw his fit, they said, of course he can see me. I like, he could be doing this just to do this,
For show. Sure.
And so they both made that point. And so then they stage like, all right, well, we'll bring you out and bring you back in with their face covered. And it's like, you don't think them fuckers are saying, all right, we're bringing her in? Like, what?
Or it's just like a sack over their head, but it's the same dress and like everything else.
It's just like, same shoe, same footprints even. Like, I just feel like they're going to be like, all right, we're letting her in. And like, you just, it's ridiculous.
Bring in a nameless, faceless person. Guess who?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't buy any of this shit. And this is something that's mentioned more than once in this, because it's a valid point that the women are making, and the narrative kind of shits on this question. It's like a baseless claim or something like that. It's like,
doesn't this account kind of love
this
Morton
is a very sympathetic account. And that becomes very apparent when we break from it today. So anyway, it doesn't matter what they say. Patrick throws a fit when they're both in there. The narrative believes that this is all legitimate, you know? So anyway, after this all happens, the minister and the magistrates who've just been hanging around, I guess in Patrick's room, as all of this has been going on, they arrest Beatrix Lang and Nicholas Lawson.
For what?
Witchcraft.
Okay.
And so they're going to prison. They're ordered to jail, those two. And so we have a quote then, though, later on in the evening here. So, and the tormented youth said, "There is a man saying he met not with such a loss this many years. And a little after he cried, he is blowing wind in my face, and he appears to me like a white cat. And here is a man, says he will break somebody's neck here."
Whoa!
And so it was, it was asked he was asked who it was, and he said, "It was a man's tongue, and he speaks horse-like," he added. "He never knew so much of Nicholas Lawson's troubling him as yesternight about 9. And so at night it was inquired what a man it was that said to him, he met not with such loss this many years. His answer was that it was Satan. And he said he did fly away in the likeness of a cat. Being again asked what loss the man got that spoke to him, he said it was the loss of his 2 companions. So,
Satan.
To paraphrase, Patrick Morton is saying that the devil, the literal devil, is there in the form of a white cat, a clever white cat, who's in between blowing in his face. It says, "I'm gonna break your neck." And so, like, while that's going on, the cat is also lamenting, though, that he's never known such a loss. "I've never known such a big loss as these. You wouldn't believe the loss that I'm knowing right now, brother. It's bad." And he's talking about losing Beatrix and Nicholas.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
They're just like in the jail. You didn't lose them. Can Satan not like get to them if they're in the jail?
When they're in the long arm of justice is apparently longer than Satan's reach.
Oh, sorry, that's so dumb. Okay.
Yeah. So, and before we move on from this, I just want to add in a few other fun little tidbit pieces of dialogue from these weird recorded sessions in Patrick's room. So here's another bit describing Satan. Who sounds lit, honestly. He said he saw Satan standing in the bed, and he said unto him, "My child, I will give you a silver suit and silver tressing about your hat, if you will confess that there is no Savior, though 2 of my dear children suffer punishment, yet it shall be well with you hereafter." And so apparently, Patrick denies this bribe. He is righteous. But the devil really seems to think that this is a solid angle because afterward, he said, apparently, the devil says to Patrick, "I'm not going to bother you for 4 hours." Because remember, there's that time thing. That there was multiple examples of this today.
Very punctual demons, yeah.
But the devil, comes back after 2 hours.
Oh, shit, he's a trickster.
And he appears to him 2 hours after like a young man with a black coat and a hat with silver tressing about it. He's wearing that fancy silver hat that he was talking about. And he's wearing black stockings with some white shoes. Ooh. And apparently he shows up saying he's going to cut off your toes. And so
I'm going to break your neck.
I'm
going to cut off your toes.
I'm going to get your toes. And so he's saying, he's basically...
Such stupid threats.
He's given a good scream threat, too. Basically kind of like, because he shows up all kind of angry. And there was also a good second line to make it even more sinister, because he says, "I'm gonna cut off your toes and run a spit through ya." So he's like really got some tude, but he's in fancy dress.
Yeah.
No longer the white cat, I guess, unless this is a BoJack situation, and it could be just a cat and like a human.
And maybe he's a cat in people clothes. Yeah.
Could happen.
Was he a cat when he was blowing in his face?
Yeah, in that scene, yes, he absolutely is.
Great.
And the devil blows in his face a lot.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. But I imagine the cat's cat mouth just
Little cat breath.
Yeah, blowing on his face and then saying, "I'm gonna break your neck." And it's a weird juxtaposition.
I feel like if cats could talk, that's 90% of what they would say.
Gizzy has thought that at me over many years.
Yeah.
Probably over and over, like a mantra.
You think she's ever tried to with her little paws?
I've wondered. She's the perfect tripping height. I've almost tripped over her a lot. She's like a footstool.
Mm-hmm.
And if she situates herself just right, it's really dicey.
And she's very dense.
Oh, she won't move.
If you run into her, she's not moving. You're gonna trip.
She'll lock into place. You're going. She's not, and she knows that. And so, after the devil shows up 2 hours early, Patrick uses this as a real moment to be like, "You are a liar. You lied. You were going to be gone for 4 hours. You came back after 2 hours. You troubled me sooner." And it goes on for a while there about how he's not righteous and all of that shit. And, but anyway, the devil apparently shows up later on with a silver collar around his neck and red slippers on. So he's really changing up his footwear and his accessories.
He's got some costume changes.
Yeah. There's some real drama.
Cunty. Yeah.
Once the women are arrested, this does not stop Patrick's calls for justice, or should I say violence, because later, after the women are arrested, this is from the narrative here, he asked if they had yet confessed that they had his picture and were tormenting him with it. He added, "He says if they be put to great trial, that more of his children will go that way." And at 2:00 in the morning, he said, when the people beside him were speaking of the picture, "The devil said, although you got all of the pictures in the world, until you get those women burnt, you shall be no better." He then added that Satan said the devil takes all that was in the house, for they are plotting his ruin. Immediately after this, he cried out of dreadful torment, saying they were stabbing him. It is to be remembered that those 5 days he had taken no meat nor drink except once a day a little milk, or milk and water, or water alone.
Oh. So, well, I'm glad he got some milk in there because, it hydrates.
He's getting some milk in there. Nobody worry about him. So then there is a really sizable section of all of the fancy and notable gentlemen who were in the room and who saw this, so it's totally true. It's so true. God. And
I don't like this writer person.
No, me neither, dude. No. It's the worst. So a fun little tidbit here. The night that this night he took several sore fits, as he foretold. After one, he cried that a little warlock was troubling him. After another fearful wrestling, he cried, "There is an ill-favored horse-lewed warlock troubling me." So that was going on, too. And
I love how he's so descriptive, even in his throes of pain. He's very
really saying what's going on. Yeah. And along with calling for the burning and execution of Nicholas and Beatrix, Patrick apparently throws some more names into the mix.
Wow. I am shocked.
But it might not necessarily just be Patrick. It's kind of the ministers and the magistrates, or both, seemingly planting some heads or some names in the head of a very sick person so they can get results, is maybe what we're looking at. And according to history, that seems to be like what happened here. Yeah. And now we're beginning to break from this really biased pamphlet and get into the truth. which is nice. So according to history, it seems like this minister is much to blame. We get some context today. We get a name. The local minister, one Patrick Cowper, also named Patrick. So we have Patrick Morton and Patrick Cowper. Spelled Cooper, but sometimes Cowper.
Like,
yeah, it's kind of so like weirdly. So in Bridgerton,
I was going to say, is it like Bridgerton?
Like in Cressida, it's like Cressida Cowper in the show, but it's spelled Cooper in the book. It's exactly the same way as this. Okay. So, Patrick Cowper, is the local minister here, and Patrick Cowper was really on a mission to expose alleged witches. Like that was a thing he was really into. He was really vibing with that lifestyle. He dated a goth girl in his teens, now he's got his heart broken, and was really obsessed with uncovering the devil's work in his small fishing town of Pittenweem. And when Patrick Morton fell ill, rumors started getting around, and it didn't take long for Patrick Cowper to slink on in and start seeing what's up. So, interestingly, there was a pamphlet that was circulating called Sadismus Debalatus, and it was written by one Lord Cullen, giving details about a demonic possession. I know, I was like, you would. And so it's the details of a demonic possession of one Christian Shaw, an 11-year-old girl who was at the center of the Paisley witch trial. So a different witch trial. This was like a pamphlet. This was like this biased pamphlet's version of a different witch trial. You know what I'm saying? Great. So they were reading this, but for another one, it seems like. And so this was circulating, and Patrick Cowper, the local minister, was really into this shit and was talking about it a lot, and allegedly had read the pamphlets to Patrick Morton shortly before the afflictions began.
Wow, what do you know?
Got from. So, yes, it seems there were ulterior motives here, and like with many witch trials, we have a bloodlusting minister. And it's incredibly likely that the below happened with their direct influence. With certainty. So on May 29th, Patrick Morton seems to go on a naming bender, and 3 more people are mentioned. So this is from the narrative again. Monday, the 29th of May, in the morning, he awakened out of a swerve and cried, "There is some rank devils in the loan." And he said, "Thomas Brown, a long, glooming dog with a long staff." He said the devil appeared to him in the likeness of Thomas Brown, with a broad rule in his hand. And after this, he said the devil appeared to him again, and said he would let him alone until 10 o'clock at night. And he answered, "I do not believe you. You are a liar from the beginning." So he doesn't trust the devil anymore.
I'm surprised he didn't call him like a precious boy this time again.
So he also named Isabel Adam, only 20 years old, who was apprehended on presumptions of witchcraft this night. And when she was brought into the room where Patrick was, he did his fits and cried out and said, "There is a charmer here." Which, if someone can say that about me anytime I walk into anywhere, I'm into that.
There is are you kidding me? Hell
that's
yeah.
Awesome. I was like, that's pretty tight. Except it's not good for her. And
except here you might die.
It's very scary. So, and they did the thing that's like, oh look, we covered his face. So, this is scientific, and so later on that night,
wait, times they're covering his face.
Yes.
Okay. I thought they were like just covering the faces of the people
of the people accused. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this night he frequently names Thomas Brown as well as Janet Corfett. Sometimes written, I think, as Cornfoot. And this is kind of one of the things. There's older names, and like there seems to be like sometimes like Americanized spellings of them. So I don't really actually know which one is which.
Are you saying Cornfoot?
Cornfoot. Yeah, okay. Is what it seems. But Corfett maybe, unless there's two Janets, and it gets very confusing for me. So anyway, that night, he's throwing people's names. Apparently, Thomas Brown and Janet Corfett are troubling him. And he's never spoke of Janet Corfett before this night. She just miraculously popped up into his head somehow. I don't know how, but she's there now all of a sudden, and he's really got her on the brain. So the narrative makes it sound like these people are all then arrested and brought to him later. So they're like arrested initially and then brought to him later to see like what happens. So they're moving faster on his word now, because last week he bitched about this for weeks, and they were like, what do you want us to do, kill you?
So people are getting whipped up. This is becoming a thing.
It's starting to we're starting to see that mob mentality get added into the mix. And so anyway, the narrative kind of bounces back and forth here of how much he reacts, and his face was covered. He couldn't know. And all of this, it really goes in on this for a little while. And he's got a trademark line that when one of his people, his tormentors, is in the room, he says, "One of my tormentors is here." He uses that line a lot. Yeah.
He's got a tagline. All right.
That's his line. And shortly after this, the pamphlet, a narrative of the trouble of Patrick Morton and the confession of some women therein in Pittenweem, it ends abruptly, kind of like in the middle of a sentence. Oh. So what happened after then? It's not good. It's not good after that ends.
Does it
the minister
is it like when they find the big book and Lord of the Rings, where he's the dwarf is writing and
it trails off
out.
Yeah. It's what it makes me think of, except like this is worse somehow, because it's like it almost
because it's real.
and it was written by those who were in power and doing this, so I feel like it almost is with a nonchalance, which is more chilling. So the minister and the authorities swiftly imprison the accused in what is called the Pittenweem toll booth, which is it's neighboring the church. It's also seemingly a kind of a church itself. This place is scary as fuck. It's not a place I would want to be imprisoned, and not just imprisonment, group torture, like a gang torture situation going on in this location, which is very, very scary. So while they were incarcerated, the women, and assumingly Thomas Brown too, you don't get much word of him, and he kind of seems to get forgotten a lot in the mix of this, were tortured and beaten extensively, like a lot. And they were forcefully kept awake for very long extended periods of time. Beatrix Lang claimed it was for 5 days and 5 nights that she was kept awake. They were constantly being pricked by groups of men intoxicated by alcohol. It was said that the real like dregs who were put in charge of the interrogation. Patrick Cowper himself carried out the beatings and the tortures.
Okay. This feels personal.
Yes. Attacking Janet Cornfoot with a walking stick, like beating her with a wooden rod. And after this, Janet Cornfoot apparently finally confessed after being savagely beaten by Cowper, who was the one orchestrating all of this. So I don't know how you expect to get out of this when the person laying charges against you is beating you with a rod. So the beatings were really bad and vicious, and later described by one letter writer as the ministers used a great deal of barbarous severities to extort confessions from those poor, unhappy creatures. So Lang finally confessed after the women were taken, after a lot of beatings and shit like that. And then after all the beatings and whatnot was taken into Morton's bedroom, and they were, he identified them with a fit. So she was confessed, and it was all official by that point, And N her confession. So this is where it gets a little bit confusing here. It seemed like in the narrative, Patrick Morton was talking about Thomas Brown being like a long dog with a staff or whatever. But it also seems that Isabel Adam implicated Thomas Brown in her confession. And Thomas Brown was questioned as well, but never confessed, and was imprisoned then in the Pittenweem Tollbooth, and later died of starvation, unfortunately, because he was just forgotten about, seemingly. Because the trial drug on for so long that like he was just stuck basically in the hole and forgotten about.
Okay, whose job was that?
Death number one.
Whose job is it to not forget that? Because they screwed up.
And it was very common, unfortunately, in trial situations like this, to where like that was.
Just forget you have a whole dude down there.
Yeah, well, they're evil, so like, who wants to care for him anyway? You know, and Beatrix Lang, Isabel Adam, Janet Cornfoot, and Nicholas Lawson were all interviewed on the 29th of May and confirmed their statements after torture. Janet Hornsberg and Lely Wallace, however, they maintained their innocence. And Thomas Brown, again, is just a sad off note to this story because it seems like he was just forgotten about completely here. But let's do some math here. So everybody was rounded up on May 29th. However, they weren't immediately executed and burned like can happen sometimes in these trials. No, they were also just sort of left in that horrible church toll booth tower place in horrible conditions, not fed enough, and kind of forgotten about until finally in November, almost 6 months after their incarceration, Beatrix Lang, Nicholas Lawson, and Janet Hornsberg and Wallace, Lely Wallace, were released after paying a fine of £8 each. And this was only allowed after it was decided that they were costing too much money to just keep there in the jail. So let them pay a fine, let them out, except for one last accused, Janet Cornfoot, who was kept in solitary confinement in the toll booth by Patrick Cowper. And I cannot find the reason for this. I don't know if maybe she couldn't afford the £8 or if there was something seriously personal, because he also was the one who beat her personally. But apparently this time, or apparently at this time, as all of this was going on, even though all of them weren't burned per his raving requests, Patrick Morton had apparently recovered. So that's good for him. And buckle up, y'all, because this only, I have such an aggressive gnat. This only continues to get worse. This actually gets pretty rough. So Janet Cornfoot remained in the toll booth, the tower thing, and it's said that a guard took pity on her and put her in a room with a small, low window, and apparently she was able to escape from it. Oh. And after escaping, Janet made her way to a different village a few miles away, it seems like, but I also in one account saw it seems she was in the same village, so it's not exactly clear, but either way, she was discovered. One account saying turned in by a different minister that she had approached for help or that had been tipped off and for the reward of £10 had arranged for her to be returned. And so she's brought back, and initially she's brought back on the 30th of January, 1705, and she's brought first to Patrick Cowper's house, but Patrick isn't home. So they take her then to one of the bailiffs in town. However, she isn't there for that long because word of this has spread around Pittenweem quickly, and a mob of villagers formed not too long after this. Great. And from here on out, details get conveniently, I'm sure, a little bit hazy, but they're horrible nonetheless. So a mob of at least 10 people forcibly removed her from the house, tied her up, beat her, drug her then down to the harbor by her ankles, possibly with the intention of dunking her. But it doesn't seem like they got that far because a rope was run from the top of the masthead from the ship back to the shore, and she was dangled from her feet, I think, while the crowd threw rocks at her as she swung back and forth. So they did that for a good long while until I guess they tuckered from that. And then they took her down covered her with a big wooden door, and then pressed her to death with heavy stones. And then even after she was dead, to keep going in their bloodlust, they then pulled a cart and horses over the wooden door back and forth more than once to ensure it was done. And so then the crowd took her body to the home then of co-accused Nicholas Lawson to intimidate with the intention of torturing her as well in the same manner. But it seems like they had tuckered themselves out and didn't do that. And as an extra bit of insult to injury, Patrick Cowper denied a proper burial, that she couldn't be given a proper burial. So she was buried with Thomas Brown, who had, I guess, died around the same time in the jail. And as a fun little fact, this minister, Patrick Cowper, had full support behind this. In fact, multiple family members of the Cowper family participated in this group mob that wound up killing Janet Cornfoot. And also it was allowed with the assistance of high-ranking members of the place. So none of this would have succeeded without approval. And it was just allowed to happen. And so,
nobody got in trouble. You can just murder a bitch, I guess.
Yep. They did.
Wow. And people are just like, oh man, that was wild.
The aftermath of all of this is mixed, and it begins a bit of a pamphlet war of sorts, with writings coming out for and against this, discussing conspiracy at the hands of the ministry, and others claiming that this was righteous, you know. And while investigations were opened up, predictably, no one faced any consequences whatsoever in the mass group killing of Janet Cornfoot or the incarceration of the accused, which resulted also in Thomas Brown's death for being put into the hole. He was actually put into the hole and forgotten about. Like,
how would you like
the thieves'
to just be
hole?
Forgotten about?
And just it sucks. And so at most, some of the accused received apologies later on. However, they weren't welcome apologies. Later on, Beatrix Lang returned to Pittenweem after being chased out by a mob upon her release initially. And she was very vocal about what happened to her and the wrongness, despite her applying for protected status and having it granted by like the higher court. The local authorities kind of told her, I don't know, somebody could come by your home and, I don't know, hurt you whenever you're sleeping or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. And we just might be looking the other way.
Yeah. And that's basically what they told her. So, but the thing is Beatrix...
we'll have our AirPods in. Can't hear you.
Making rounds, wasn't over there. And Beatrix Lang didn't actually live that long after her incarceration. She was starved for almost 6 months in a disease-ridden jail following torture. So she died less than a year, it seems, after her release. And Patrick Morton, the 16-year-old boy, received no repercussion either, nor did Patrick Cowper, the minister. And I tried to look up whether or not Cowper was able to return or remain the minister. I'm going to guess yes, because I couldn't find anything otherwise.
Yeah. He probably got a fucking handy for his trouble.
I mean... And it seems the only thing that did happen that was notable was that his headstone was vandalized to the point that it could no longer be read anymore. So sad for that. And after over a century of witch hunts, the Witchcraft Act was formally repealed in 1736, which was 30 years after the Pittenweem witch trials. So... Wow. That's that.
Whoa. Okay, so let's see what's our death toll. We have Nicholas, fucking gone.
No, Nicholas survived. That's
right. No. She was chased out, but they didn't kill her.
Yeah, they came to intimidate her. Beatrix survived, but not for really very long. Yeah. Thomas Brown died of starvation.
Gonzers.
Janet Cornfoot died by lynch mob.
Gonzers. Whoa.
Yeah. So 3 lives, you can say. You know.
Did she, the one who Beatrix, did she get sick from like being in the jail?
I couldn't find out for sure. her inclusion in this is kind of surprising because she wasn't like a nobody. Like her husband was the treasurer of the town. But I think she was
Shouldn't
a
ask
little
for them nails.
She was older. So she wasn't as young as some of the other victims. So I just imagine she didn't recover well, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could pick up a solid wasting sickness in one of these jails.
Fucking get you some pneumonia for free.
Yeah. Just walking pneumonia that you just carry with you.
Yeah. Wowee. Well, I would like to say I'm glad that we wrapped that story up, but it was horrifying, so I'm not.
Yeah, but it is.
How would you... Okay. Listen. What's your plan? You've gotten accused. Because, like, it seems like in these stories, and I know it's hard to just do this, but I really want to believe that I would pack up a little bindle and I'd walk and I'd find like a traveling group of thespians and I would be with them now.
Yeah, I think
like,
in
you
reality,
can't just go to the next town because like they can find you. But
they can find you. They were looking
you gotta be on the move.
You. Yeah, not to mention there's so many constraints. There's so many constraints. There's big wealth gaps. And, you know, do you even have a horse and cart? Do you have anything like that you can get out of the town with? And then once you get to the other town, then what? Are you a single
Then you're
woman?
just a stranger that showed up.
Like, what are you going to do? Like,
yeah.
And they're probably going to think you're a witch just because you're a strange single woman that showed up in town.
That shows up. That's what I'm saying. You got to find a traveling group and go with them.
Yeah.
You're a bard now. Congrats.
I mean, I can't even really argue with you because, I mean, the chances are slim, but I do kind of feel like it's one of your only chances.
Yeah. I mean, something that moves from town to town. You know, a good traveling circus that, you know, they had those, like, I don't know if they were called circuses, but they had those, like, shows that would come through.
Like a company that would come through. Like,
that half of them were probably, like, they can't go back to their town.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. No, yeah. I think
join up with them.
Pretty bleak. This seems to be really one of the last occurrences of this, and there was pushback from higher courts on this case. But as is the case a lot of the time, shit gets sideways from a local level, really, really badly, which is another great reason to vote down the ballot. Everyone, because this story is an example of this. Like, this is the local, like, really corrupt leadership just kind of being like, or we could just do whatever we want. And it's very scary.
Yeah. And it'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
Agreed. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed. We're still in spooky October month.
We're gonna be somewhere so cool tomorrow.
I know. And I want to say next week when you guys join us, that is not going to be our Halloween episode, because that's, you know, going to be on the 30th. So it's going to be very hard, I think, to next week just act like we're not sitting on a bunch of information.
Secrets. Yeah, we're going to really have to keep our traps shut and not be talking to, especially on the live streams and shit. Like, we're going to have to keep it together.
Keep it tight. Well, in that case, we will see you next time. Go check out wbahprintshop.com.
Give it a look.
Check out the album art. See if you like it and get it and put it up on your wall. Put it up on your mirror. So you can see
where your face goes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. So you can, like, just kind of put your body there and you'll be the little sassy.
Yeah.
Cute.
She's
That's so stupid. Let's see. Do we have any other news? I do. Actually, this isn't news, but I do have a piping hot can of review footage for you to slurp down right now. You ready? Pop off the top, heat it over the campfire, and slurp it like you're Sam Elliott. This is from Kath6789, and the name of this review is just purple heart emoji.
Nice.
They say, love this podcast. It's informative, but also down to earth and funny. Thanks for this great show, smiley face. Thank you, Kath.
I like that. Kath is one of my favorite Death Cab for Cutie songs. Also, I thought you were going to, it said informative and down to earth, but my brain filled it in. I thought it was going to be informative and dumb. And I would have also taken that.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have probably been more accurate. Take informative out, actually. Just say dumb.
I like it. It's dumb.
Dumb and down to earth. That's us. Dumb and salt
Dumb
of the
and
earth.
Down to earth.
All right, guys. Check out all of our stuff that we have linked below. Of course, we have that Patreon where we have extra content like spells, blogs, and other exclusive content. And also Simp Cap, which we know really what you're there for is the Simp Cap. We're doing Scream now. And next week, we're going to be doing, we don't know yet, but it's going to be something spooky for the, the month that we're in. I forgot how to say October. And, let's see. You can also check out our Facebook at Witch Amateur Hour. We have a mailing address, P.O. Box 865, Canton, Texas 75103. If you wanted to like send Saucebox like a piece of Halloween candy or something. What else do we have that matters? We do have that Instagram at Witch Bitch Amateur Hour and a Twitter at Bitch Hour, but
they're out there. They're out there doing their thing. I think that's pretty much what we've got.
Yeah. You could also follow our individual accounts. Hell, why the hell not? We haven't said that in a while. Macy's at Macy Anise, or your yoga one is Macy Anise Yoga, I believe. Yeah. I'm at Why Charlye Why. You can find it. And we have our individual endeavors. So check us out. We're cool people. We want to be friends.
We're fine.
We're fine. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.